Welcome to Meg's Motorcycle Journey, where we explore the world on two wheels. This channel will follow me on my journey to become a better rider and explore my love of all things motorcycles. Welcome back. I've been sort of teasing you guys about an upcoming trip to Florida, and I think some of you may already know what my trip was because a fellow YouTuber posted a video this past Monday, but I thought I'd give you a little clue about what I was doing in Florida this past weekend. So I told you guys that I had an upcoming surprise and I was traveling to Florida. So I'm leaving Maryland. It's December 16th and it is snowing everywhere, and I am so excited to be going to sunny Florida. As you can probably tell from that video, I was really excited to go down to Florida for more reasons than one. One, obviously it's beautiful weather, but two, I was given a really truly amazing opportunity to go and improve my riding skills. Morning, on my way to Florida. I should be there in about 6 hours. Currently in South Carolina. As many of you know, I've been looking for an advanced rider's course. I wanted to improve my skills, particularly slow maneuver skills. And I've gotten a lot of suggestions from a lot of you. Some of them were very good suggestions, and I took you up on those suggestions. Good morning. I'm here in sunny Port Richey, Florida. I was graciously invited by Jerry Palladino from Ride Like a Pro to come and train with him here at his academy. So I've mentioned in a lot of my other videos how I believe constantly that I can learn and improve, and that I wanted to improve my riding skills, and what better opportunity than to come here and do the Ride Like a Pro training class. So I'll be showing you guys some footage and then check in with you guys later. So this is the morning of the day that I was fortunate enough to have a private lesson with Jerry, Donna, and another trainer on his staff, Joe. I was lent this Sportster by Jerry, and so we met Donna, his wife, who a lot of you I'm sure are familiar with from his videos, and I picked up the Sportster and we went to the facility where they're currently holding their Ride Like a Pro classes. So that's what you're seeing us do now. I was really excited, a little nervous, riding a new bike that I'd never been on. So this is us pulling in.
Ride it like you rented it.
This is me starting off with the very first drill that I worked on. Maybe the second drill. I think he had me do the slow race first, but I don't have any footage of that. But the cone weave to the U-turn was the second drill that I worked on. He has that set up for a 24-foot U-turn. Sometimes in his classes, and you'll see probably in episode 2 or part 2 of this episode, that a lot of times he'll set the cones at 27 feet, but he wanted me to get used to doing them at 24 feet so that it wouldn't be difficult for me.
What's happening is halfway through the U-turn, you're letting the clutch out a little too much, not slipping enough, so that when you gave it gas, it picked up speed. When you give it gas, it shouldn't pick up speed if you're in that sweet spot.
Got it.
Okay, so U-turn speed is about 8 miles an hour. It's really the same as the speed you're going through here, but I want bigger loops,
turns.
head and eyes up, get that bike dipping, and then when you go to make that turn, constantly slipping that clutch. All you got to do is look at Donna the entire time.
Okay. So this is, I think, my third shot at the cone weave drill, and you can see that I'm leaning the bike a lot more. I'm sure you heard Jerry tell me to lean the bike. I was getting a little more comfortable on this, and as many of you know, I used to ride a Sportster. I've actually never ridden it on this channel. I traded it in before I started this channel. But this was a bit earlier model of a Sportster than I rode and a little bit different. It had pipes, which was kind of nice. So I rode a bike that had a little more sound than I'm used to. And I still plan to make that upgrade myself in the coming weeks. So stay tuned for that. But I was getting a lot more comfortable, and once I listened to some of the suggestions about staying in the friction zone, about using my head and eyes to look in the direction where I'm going, I was having a lot more success.
Yeah, that was probably an 18-foot turn and she didn't even know it.
You saw me mention that I like Jerry's no-nonsense approach, and what I mean by that is that I like a coach that pushes me and challenges me. I don't need someone to puff me up. I need someone to help me get better. And I think that Jerry's approach is very effective in that way. So we were moving on to the second drill, which was the intersection drill. And Jerry said that he wanted to demonstrate with me riding on the bike. So you can see I'm riding 2 up, and he is performing the drill. And that's on an electric glide. So he did take me through the paces of that drill a few times so that I could see it. And I will tell you, it's not the first time that I've ridden 2 up with somebody and learned a lot. I know that some of you, especially some of you males out there, may not want to ride 2 up with another guy, but I will tell you that it is the best perspective to learn from, in my opinion, because you can see somebody operate the bike in a different way than you can when you are either riding next to them or standing next to them. So I do think it's tremendously helpful if you are able to do that. You can see he took me through a couple times before he had me do it. And frankly, I was really intimidated, even though I had been doing some U-turns in the other drill. That was a single turn, and this exercise requires you to turn immediately after you complete a U-turn. But again, once I committed to the instruction that I was getting, which was to stay in the friction zone with my foot on the rear brake and to use my head and eyes, it really wasn't difficult. And like anything that is a little scary or risky, it's always my attitude that you can't go in halfway. You've got to give 100% and you have to go all out. The time when you're going to get hurt or hurt someone else or break the equipment that you're using is when you're scared. So I just always have a mindset, and I have with anything, with cheerleading, with gymnastics, that if I'm going to go for something, I'm going to go all out and I'm going to go 100% because that's the safest way for me to do it. And so you just have to block out whatever fear you're having and whatever thoughts you're having and go 100%. So this is kind of cool. We got some drone footage. I mentioned Joe, one of Jerry's instructors, was there. He was taking some drone footage. So this is the same drill. This is the intersection drill, and I'm on the Sportster performing the intersection drill. But it's kind of a cool perspective, and I think it gives you a little better idea as to how tight some of these maneuvers are. Truly, when you're sort of down in the middle of it, it looks simple, but I think from the aerial view you can see exactly how tight a 24-foot U-turn is. And I was actually really happy because sometimes I'm able to do them in significantly less than 24 feet. So you'll see that in some of the upcoming drills. But if you have the ability to have someone with you take drone footage, I would highly recommend it because I think it really helps you improve. It helps you follow the lines that you're on, the path that you're taking, and I think it puts it in a completely different perspective. So this is a little bit later on. Donna was demonstrating the drill on the electric glide, and I am on the Sportster. And I just want to say, I know a lot of you are familiar with Donna from the videos, and certainly I've already said, how fabulous it was to be trained by Jerry. But Donna was absolutely great and invaluable. She's a really skilled rider and really, really encouraging. So I really appreciated the opportunity to learn from her as well. And this, as you can see, is her and I performing the same drill. And she just does it so well and so smoothly. So This was kind of a good preparation for me for the class the next day, where there would be a lot more people present than there were at the time. So here's a little fun footage of Cameraman. A lot of you,
Look at him. Wow.
seem to be
good.
interested in what his bike looks like and ask me why you never get to see it. So I thought I'd include a little footage of him performing the drill on his bike. There's also been a lot of concern about his skill as a rider and whether he's capable of filming and riding at the same time. So I thought I would show you some footage of him on his bike. He actually rides a breakout, and both Jerry and Donna said that this course is incredibly difficult on a breakout. You can hear Donna talk about that. You know, it's interesting because I have been a little nervous to perform some of these maneuvers at home on my bike, and I'm not nervous because I'm worried about getting hurt. I'm not. As many of you know, I was a cheerleader, a gymnast. I played field hockey. I played lacrosse. I've been a skier on the ski team. And so I'm used to doing those types of things. But I am nervous that I might wreck my bike. So the fact that these training bikes had crash bars on them was really nice for me and sort of took away any fear or reluctance I might have to really commit to the maneuvers. What you watched during those aerial shots was a similar drill to the U-turn intersection drill, but you did a full circle.
Where is it? Don't look there. Look at it.
Here is a figure 8 drill, which is also done in the 24-foot
Only
intersection.
look at the orange in the middle.
I found this drill to be the most difficult. You might be able to hear Jerry telling me to keep focused on that tiny cone in the middle, and always be looking toward that cone. The same skills are used in this drill as the other drills, being in the friction zone, using your head and eyes, and keeping pressure on the rear brake. That was definitely the thing that I probably had the most difficulty with, was using my rear brake appropriately. So I want to continue to work on that. Hopefully get even better at that. Here's that figure 8 from the aerial drone footage. And I found this drill to be the most difficult. That turn right there was in a different direction and was uncomfortable. But again, once I got the hang of it, once I turned my head and committed to it, it wasn't a problem. So I definitely credit Jerry for helping me to apply some of the techniques that I had been taught about in my entry-level classes. And here was the moment of truth. Jerry asked if I would be willing to try it on the Electroglide, give that a go. I had never ridden a touring bike in my life. I had no idea what to expect. I was pleasantly surprised that the bike felt like it fit me. I felt very comfortable and confident.
Better than about 95% of the guys that come to my class.
It was easy to turn. It was easy to balance. And I know I've said before in some of my other videos that I didn't think I would ever ride a touring bike, but apparently I am going to eat my words because I loved this Electroglide.
Not bad. First time ever on an Electroglide.
I've never ridden with forward controls.
What's that?
I've never ridden with forward controls before.
Forward. There's not forward.
These aren't forward?
No.
Floorboards.
Those are
Okay.
That's my
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually fits you better because your legs are much closer and a little further down, so you don't have your knees up in the air.
Actually, the turning didn't feel any harder.
No,
know.
it's actually easier on this
Yeah.
bike
Yes. Yeah.
because there's a little more pressure to turn it, so it's more feel to it.
Yeah.
Give the intersection a try.
Okay.
And by the way, if you drop this bike,
Who cares?
just let it go down. It's equipped with these motorcycle drop guards. You can't hurt it.
Okay.
So just step off the bike.
All right, so try just the one U-turn?
No, try run the whole
thing
intersection.
so
It's
you get a
actually
rhythm.
easier.
Okay.
Yeah, just not the figure 8, but
Okay, right.
all right. And remember your techniques now: head and eyes, shoulder down. Don't be Quasimodo.
You heard Jerry talking about making sure to keep my shoulder down. That's another thing I was really struggling with. Wanted to keep that one shoulder up when I turn. And, Jerry helped me by letting me know that, that's something that your body or your brain tells you to do, but you don't actually need to do it. So that's another thing that I'm going to continue to work on in my own training.
Didn't hit a single cone, first time ever, in a 24-foot intersection. I get people, men here, been riding for 20, 30 years. They come here on a bike like this because this is what they have.
Right, yeah.
Who cannot, after 4 hours, do what you just did. They'd be knocking cones over, putting the foot down. So you've got talent that I think you might be able to get into one of our Ride Like a Pro shows if you keep practicing.
Yeah, I would love that. As I mentioned, this is part 1 of a 2-part series. This is when I just got the wonderful opportunity to train with Jerry, and for that I'm so grateful. But you will get to see in part 2 when I take his class with other riders. So stay tuned for that next week. And I would suggest to all of you that you should check out Jerry's channel. He has so many helpful videos. He is a wealth of knowledge and has been doing this for a very long time. So I highly recommend taking a minute and checking out what he's got over there. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, ride safe.